Hi, everybody. We're going to get started. Sorry for being a little bit late here, um, but hopefully that is not too inconvenient. Before we really get started, I wanted to make sure that the audio is working and that you could sort of see everything and hear me. So if you could just mention something in the chat box if you can't, or if it sounds good, so I know. Okay, good. So I'm going to minimize that. I'll check the chat again at some point. If you do have questions at the end, you can put it in there. But for now, we'll just get started. So welcome. So it's going to be a class about cleaning with non-toxic products and how you can go about doing that. Some chemicals that are in regular cleaning products and why they're bad for you. I'm going to be looking down sometimes at my notes, so just forgive me. I got two screens going on here. And we're going to also be talking about some like safe natural alternative products, which are the Thieves line of cleaning products and essential oils. So we'll talk a little bit about that too, and how you can use those products for cleaning. And so I'm gonna get first slide. So in 1976, Congress passed this thing called the Toxic Substance Control Act, which basically allowed, what does it say, 63 to 100,000 chemicals. Basically, they allowed them into the market without any testing or any regulations. They just said, okay, all these chemicals are like good to go. You can put them in your products. You can, you don't have to tell people if you're using that chemical or not. They just had this kind of free for all, and that's different if you're not in the United States. So that is kind of how things are in the United States. And I know that in other countries, they have a lot of their chemicals are banned. And I think in another slide, I have the actual number of the amount of chemicals that are banned in other countries like Europe versus the United States, where, we have a lot fewer chemicals that are banned. So that is just kind of a background on, the laws and regulations that kind of go behind the chemicals that end up in some of these products. So over here, I have a little picture of the Think Dirty app. If you've never heard of it, it's a pretty cool app. There's also one called, I think it's Healthy Living. But they're similar. So basically you can scan your products with the app, and it kind of comes up with a rating of clean, dirty, or kind of in between, based on what ingredients are in it and if those ingredients are, known as harmful or not. So the kind of drawback of this app is that it doesn't have all of the it doesn't have like a ton of products in their system. So some of it you have to you can input the ingredients yourself to get it into their database, or you can just look at the ingredient list. I will be getting to it at a different slide. Another place you can go to look up your ingredients to see if, how harmful they are. But first, we're just going to talk a little bit about some of the ingredients that are in a lot of these products and like why they're bad. So phthalates is a big one. It's in a ton of things, especially ones that contain the word fragrance. Fragrance itself it sounds harmless, but it's can actually be pretty harmful because the word fragrance, companies can put fragrance on there and it can mean thousands of different things. Like they don't have to say exactly what that fragrance is, or how they got it, or what else is added to it. Like it could be anything. So that's always kind of a yellow flag, is fragrance. And so phthalates are this component that is in a lot of things like air fresheners, dish soap, even toilet paper, like just a ton of different products. Some products say phthalate free on the label, which is a good sign. And then that they are being upfront that there are phthalates in it, but you can always look at the back on the ingredients list. And it probably won't say phthalates. You'll have to look for something like fragrance, and then assume, or if it doesn't say phthalate free on it, then it probably has it in it. And phthalates, there's been research about it disrupting hormone levels, causing birth defects. And for all of these chemicals, there's different places you can research. So I always encourage people to also do their own research about them and see what's been done, and not just take one person's word for it, but really sort of become more educated about looking at ingredient labels and kind of knowing what to look for and knowing what research has been done about the effects of it, and not just going by the cover of a product, which sometimes there's a lot of like greenwashing, which is kind of a term to say that companies will say all natural, or healthy, clean, non-toxic, but unless you really know what's in it, they can get away with saying that kind of stuff because that in itself is not always so regulated, those terms. So that's just a little note about that. So next is QUATS, which is a shortened for quaternary ammonium compounds. Basically, this is found in fabric softener, fabric sheets, and a lot of household cleaners that say antibacterial on it, which you would think like antibacterial is always a good thing in a product, but it's not necessarily, because some of the health risks are that they can help breed like antibiotic resistant bacteria. So that's like, if you use too much of hand sanitizer and stuff that has this in it, or too much antibacterial stuff, you'll like strip your body of the right kind of bacteria that make you more, susceptible. And it can also irritate skin. So fabric softeners are a big culprit of this. And we'll be talking a little bit later about like an alternative to fabric softener things. Let me just move this little video if I can. Oops. I don't know if I can move it. Well, I'm not sure if you can see this. Oh, there we go. Triclosan. Triclosan is found in dishwashing detergents and hand sanitizers. Again, like sort of an antibacterial agent that can cause growth of other kinds of bacteria. And it's also associated with more allergies, skin allergies in people, and disrupting hormone levels. It can pass through the breast milk and urine. So a lot of these things is, even if it's just kind of like you're washing your hands with it, or you're washing your dishes or something, that residue can actually goes into your body and into your systems. And so it can be a lot more harmful than it seems from the outside. Parabens is a big one too. Um, and that can be in the form of all these parabens, ethyl paraben, methyl parabens, anything that kind of ends in paraben um, is in all kinds of deodorants, toothpaste, shampoo, conditioner, lotion, makeup. Parabens is in a lot of things. Some natural kind of companies will say paraben free on their products, and that is a good sign that they don't use that. A lot of times it's connected to paraben and phthalate free. So parabens can disrupt hormones, increase risks for cancer and reproductive problems. Again, there's different research that's been done about that. So if you're curious about that, I would look up in PubMed. Has a lot of articles that have been done and kind of vetted. So it's not just like some random blog person saying it, but know your research. SLS is sodium lauryl sulfate, used in soaps, shampoos, anything that gets like a sudsy lather, like the soapy bubbles, which a lot of the times we associate with like cleanliness. Like if it soaps up, that means it's doing its job. But the fact that it bubbles doesn't necessarily mean that that's what's cleaning it. So the sodium lauryl sulfate is just providing that bubble the bubble soapiness, but it's not necessarily getting it clean in and of itself. And it also has harmful effects of damaging hair follicles, skin damage. And this is important because for things like shampoo, detergent, toothpaste, these are all things that people use pretty much every day. And so it's not so much that like you'll have an immediate reaction, but it's like what are the long-term effects? And not really knowing what the long-term effects are, although there has been research done. And so going off of that research, if there are negative things that have been found, it's good to know, if you're using it every day for you and your family. And this is just kind of the beginning of the chemical ingredients list. There's really like thousands, but these are some big ones that are come up frequently in a lot of things. So did you know the Toxic Substance Control Act allows chemical manufacturers to keep some ingredients secret? Nearly 20% of chemicals can be secret, meaning they don't have to put it on the label at all, which is a pretty scary thing, considering that if they choose not to put it on the label, like it can't be very good for you. And so generally companies that have some of these other chemicals in them, parabens or sulfates, things like that, there's a fragrance, there's a good chance that they also have things in there that they're not even saying and that you don't even know what's in it. So that's something to keep in mind. Again, in the US, I'm not sure about in other countries how that is. So now we're gonna move on a little bit to the company Young Living and why, what their practices are and why I believe in it so much compared to a lot of other companies that I've come across. The Thieves line of products is from Young Living, and they use their essential oils as the main or one of the main ingredients in a lot of the Thieves products. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Young Living and their essential oils and their process, because that's a big factor in like why choose Thieves over, some other green type of brand of something. because there are a lot of other good companies out there that have, products that don't contain a ton of chemicals and stuff. But so Young Living, they have a seed to seal promise, which is that from the time the plant is a seed, meaning, you plant it in the ground, to the time it's sealed up in the bottle, that whole process is extremely regulated and controlled and tested, for it all organic, no pesticides on the plants. Young Living owns a lot of their own farms, organic farms, so that they can control the way the plant grows, the way it's, everything about it is, known, basically. There's no like, oh, we got this from some other company and then we took it in. So it's all a very tested process, all along up to the distillation process of the oil. And so this just talks about sourcing, science, and standards are kind of like their three models. Sourcing of their farms, either their own organic farms or sourcing from vetted suppliers that also follow their same standards. They have third-party validation and third-party testing on a lot of throughout their process. So it's not just kind of like an insider thing. Like they take their product and they have third-party person look it over and vet it, and before they put it out into the market, so that they are not just thinking that they're great because they're a great company, but they're relying on other people to say that it's safe and ready to go. They do a lot of research. They spend millions of dollars on research in their labs. They have a sustainable compliance program. They comply with all of like the environmental laws around sustainability. And so these are some of the reasons why I believe so much in this company, is their like transparentness when it comes to where their ingredients are sourced from, and on the back of the labels of all of their things. There are some things that I didn't really know what it was, but you can look it up, which I think maybe is the next slide, maybe the slide after this. So this is Thieves, made with 100% plant mineral-based ingredients. It's super concentrated. So that's one thing about these Thieves products, is that extremely concentrated, way more than like what you might get at a store. So one bottle of the household cleaner, for instance, can make 29 16-ounce spray bottles, which, I mean, I've had the same bottle of Thieves household cleaner for like over a year. And depending on how much you use it, it lasts a really long time. And that is one of the things that makes it actually really cost effective in the long run. The household cleaner can also like pretty much replace every other cleaner you might have in your house, like for real. These are just some of the like things that you can clean it with. Anything from carpets to walls to windows to your vegetables to pots and pans, laundry. I mean, it's literally so versatile, because it's made with such powerful yet simple ingredients. So it's not like going to irritate your floor or irritate something else. Whereas, you might need like a separate bathroom cleaner, separate floor cleaner, separate, you wouldn't want to use, say, your Tide laundry soap on your vegetables, normally. But Thieves is like pretty versatile like that. Like you can really be confident that it's not going to be harmful. And even on the back of the bottle, it says if it's ingested, just drink water. So it's not going to poison you like a lot of household cleaners. A lot of kids get into those and they end up having to, call poison control because it's like a toxic substance. So these are extremely just pure plant-based. Drink a lot of water if you happen to, you know, um, ingest it somehow. Lemon essential oil. I'm not going to go too much into essential oils themselves. I'm going to have a separate class for that. But in terms of cleaning, lemon is one of the best essential oils for cleaning. It can clean sticky residue off of bottles and jars. Like if you ever want to take a label off of a jar and use it for something else, there's always that like sticky thing that can never come off. So rubbing some lemon essential oil on that, it just like comes right off. It's really, really great for that. Anything sticky, it can rub a little of that on and it can get it out. It can remove crayons from the walls, which is a big one if you might have kids. It's a great stain remover. So you can make a stain spray of some kind using lemon, and I'll have a recipe coming up about that. Or just straight lemon, just rub it in to the stain, let it sit, and then wash as normal. And you could kind of rub it in and scrub it into like you would another stain remover, and it won't mess up the clothes in any way. But you might want to, if you have a certain kind of fabric, you might want to do a little test spot just to make sure. But it's pretty safe. Oops. It can help degrease. It's a good degreaser. So, and lemon is one of the main ingredients in the Thieves household cleaner and in a lot of the Thieves products. So if you have like the Thieves dish soap or whatever, chances are it's going to have like lemon as one of the main ingredients, or, the laundry soap. But also if you're making your own, a lot of these can be like a DIY thing where you can make your own like laundry soap and, dish cleaner and different stuff. Just using the ingredients and the oils. So adding some lemon to like a spray of some kind, or just adding some drops on a pan, you can scrub out some greasy stuff that you would normally want to use like a harsher chemical thing on. It can also help with like hard water buildup. Make a paste out of baking soda, water, and lemon, and can get that kind of like cloudiness out if you have hot water problems. I know I have that at my place. It's also a good air purifier. So if you have a diffuser, you can put it in and kind of purify the air. And really great for the laundry if you put it on dryer balls. So dryer balls can be a really good alternative to laundry, what is this called? Fabric softener sheets. It's just basically a wool ball. You can get them on Amazon if you don't already have them, or you can find them all over the places, just wool dryer balls, and you can add essential oils, really of any kind. Lemon is a good one. Lavender I like too. Any smell that you enjoy, but lemon can also like help make it seem fresh. And another good thing for lemon is putting it like on a cotton ball or something in like a garbage can, and then it helps control like the smell of that, or any place that might be smelly. So that's lemon. And now I'm going to show some slides of like some different DIY projects that you can do using oils and or the Thieves products. So the wipes DIY. this would be an alternative to buying like, a container of wipes to wipe down a surface or wipe your hands with or whatever. If you're traveling, this one's really good for like keeping it in the car, so that if you have a spill or something, you can take out a wipe, and it doesn't have the, a lot of the wipes have a lot of chemicals in it too, fortunately. So this involves just cutting a paper towel roll in half, take out the cardboard middle part, and then mix together water, 3 cupfuls of Thieves, and 10 drops of essential oil. If you didn't have Thieves, and you just have the oils, you could just make a mixture with oils and water. Purification is an oil that Young Living makes, which is a blend of oils that is really good for cleaning, in addition to lemon. But anyway, mix that all up in a container. It has to be kind of an airtight container, otherwise they'll dry out. But an airtight container, shake it up and down until it's incorporated, and then pull through the middle like you would a regular wipe container. And that is a really good money saving thing too, because you don't have to pay for the packaging, and you don't have to buy a lot of wipes are kind of overpriced. So really it would just be the price of the paper towels, and if you had to buy a container, but a lot of times you might have a container jar sitting around the house. And that also makes, if you do buy essential oils, it makes the life of them, you get a lot of uses out of it. One bottle has hundreds of drops in it, and so you could make like a ton of different DIYs with just one bottle, which is why I like using essential oils. So Thieves spray DIY, this is just how to make a basic spray, like the household cleaner I was talking about, super concentrated. So you just use like literally 1 capful, fill the rest with water. You can also add witch hazel and other essential oils in there and make your own spray. And depending on the size of your spray bottle, you can make a little spray bottle and sort of have it as a to-go thing that you can spray on like door handles and cart handles and different things in public places, as well as you can make one just to have around the house, spray down the countertops and stuff. So this is great. I use this one all the time. You can make a stain remover, like I was saying. This is actually a recipe for, you can use the Thieves dish soap and laundry detergent in a recipe to make a stain remover. So that's if you do end up getting the Thieves products, and you can make that stain remover spray with those. And you can also just use the lemon oil if you have that. And toilet bowl cleaner. This is a good one because you don't have to buy those toilet bowl cleaners that have like bleach and different things in it. So this one uses baking soda, Castile soap, which you can find that on Amazon or online pretty easily if you don't already have it. Vinegar, hydrogen peroxide. So these are just some like basic ingredients that are good to have on hand for making DIY projects for cleaning. And they'll last a long time too with, you can do a lot of different projects with just buying a container of the Castile soap and vinegar and stuff like that. And so this is a recipe you can, if you have a squirt bottle, then it would kind of act as like you squirt it in the toilet. If you don't, I'd say you can even just put it in any kind of container and, just pour some in the toilet and then scrub. And yeah, so this one also uses essential oils of your choice along with those other ingredients. Ditch and switch. So I'm going to be talking a little bit like room by room and like what products from the Thieves line you can switch. So the ditch and switch idea is that like you go through all your products and ditch the ones that like look on the ingredient list, see what's in it, and if it has stuff that is, you know, yucky, or you know, you look it up and you're like, oh, that can't be good, just ditch it. I mean, it's better to kind of, you know, don't worry about like trying to use it up. Although I mean, sometimes it's not really economical to throw away everything and buy everything at once. So it can also be like something that you do slowly over time, you know, like this month I'm gonna ditch, you know, the toothpaste and mouthwash, and then next month I'm gonna do the laundry soap and something like that. So you kind of over time build it up with which makes it more doable for a lot of people, including myself. I still am not totally switched over, but it is my goal to get there. So the bathroom, for the bathroom, Thieves has a toothpaste for adults. They have a toothpaste for kids. They have a mouthwash, and they all don't contain sulfates, dyes, no preservatives. It's just pure kind of like essential oils, and they list the ingredients on the back. You can, you know, look up each of those ingredients and see what else is in it. And that's what I was going to mention before, but I didn't. So the Environmental Working Agency is a good website to go to look up ingredients. Let me just make sure I have that. I can't find it in my note, but just Google search Environmental Working Group. Yeah, I think it's Environmental Working Group. And it's a website where you can just look up any kind of ingredient or chemical, and then it will tell you about it. And I believe it also gives some kind of a rating. So you can, you know, go through the ingredients list, and if it's not in that Think Dirty app, the Environmental Working Group is a good place to go to cross-check your ingredients. So there's a few like hacks that you can do with a lot of these products that make them really economical in the long run because they're so concentrated. So there's a lot of hacks that you can do to extend the life of them, basically. So this one is for the mouthwash. You can turn 8 ounces of mouthwash into 32 ounces. So from 1 bottle into 3 bottles. Or yeah, I think 3 bottles. Which basically just means getting some different containers, putting the mouthwash evenly amongst them all, filling the rest with water, and then you have 3. I mean, it's literally that easy, and you're not compromising on effectiveness. Like, it's just as effective, and it will last 3 times as long. Over here is also a ingredients of things that you like to make your own mouthwash using. If you have the essential oils, put it in a glass bottle. And it's important to use glass bottles when you're using essential oils, because the plastic can sort of intermingle with the oils in not a good way. So glass is a good way to go. Glass jars of some kind. But this is ingredients for making your own mouthwash. And all of these hacks and DIYs I do have printouts of them. So anyone who ends up getting the Thieves kit, which I'll talk about later, will also get access to all of these DIYs and hacks, so that you could have it on hand, not have to remember all of it. But you could also just, be taking notes right now and make your own or whatever. The hand soap hack, you can also turn 1 bottle into 3 bottles, which is pretty great. If you have well, you probably don't already have it, but you might. But you can also find it on Amazon, like an empty soap dispenser pump, specifically like a foaming soap dispenser pump. And you can find them for fairly inexpensive. That way you can turn your multiple one into 3. You can turn 1 into 3 with the same kind of pump action. Otherwise, it would just be like in a jar or something, which is not so convenient for washing your hands. So those empty pump bottles are helpful for that. Mildew remover. So instead of buying that, mildew spray, which is super chemically laden, this is a DIY to make your own. This one has water. Tea tree is a really great oil for cleaning as well. It's got like antibacterial, antimicrobial, that kind of action going on. And lavender, and that'll help break down the mildew, which is, it's kind of amazing that something so simple can be just as or more effective than some of these chemicals. The kitchen, so some of the kitchen products they have a dish soap, dishwashing detergent, the household cleaner you can also use in the kitchen. The oils that are in there are jade lemon, bergamot, clove, lemon, cinnamon, rosemary. And again, they're free of fragrances, dyes, phosphates, all those things. It's also important that it's biodegradable, or compatible with your septic system. So you're not going to be like, say, if you have your own kind of well or water system, that you won't be putting that back out into your septic system. Or even if you don't, even if you rent an apartment or something, at least, you'll be knowing that you're not kind of like polluting with your chemicals going down the drain, which is good to know. So the dish soap also can be stretched from 1 to 3. This one, same thing, except adding some baking soda. And they also say you can add the Young Living makes a bath and shower gel base, which is just like a basic kind of bath and shower gel. But that'll help with the baking soda too, to get it bubbly. So one thing about the Thieves dish soap in and of itself is not that bubbly. So people think like, oh, this is not working. Like, I want to see bubbles. So you can add to it to make it bubbly, and then you get that bubble action. The dishwashing powder, also super concentrated. You only need 1 tablespoon per load, but you can also double it by combining with baking soda or washing soda. So 50-50 of that, which makes it super cheap because baking soda in and of itself is super cheap. And oh, it can also be used as a toilet bowl cleaner. So that's good to know. Fridge freshener. This is another one of using lemon and baking soda. Put it in a jar. So baking soda and then 10 drops of lemon or 10 drops of another oil. And cover it with the cheesecloth or a piece of like breathable fabric and put it in your fridge, and then it'll keep things like smelling fresh, which is nice. Laundry, so the dryer balls, again, like I said, are a good thing to switch it out into if you don't already use those versus dryer sheets. The laundry soap that Thieves has is also super, super concentrated. There's going to be a hack for that. Yes, it's 6 times more concentrated than your average soap. So you wouldn't be using, like normally you use like a catful per load. You don't need to use that much for this at all. So normally you would get 64 loads just in one bottle, but you can double or triple. I forget, double. You can double it. I think you can also triple it if you wanted, which will make you get even more, well, over 100 loads of soap. So, yep, here it says when you do the doubling up, that drives the price down just to 25 cents per load, or 12 cents per load if you have one of those high efficiency machines. So removing this is actually the wrong picture for that. Sorry about that. It's supposed to be a picture of a laundry soap, but it's actually in a container, like a jug. Fill it with water, evenly distribute it, and then fill the rest with water. And then you've got 3 out of 1. You can also add a capful of Thieves cleaner if you have that too, and it kind of gives it another boost. And ditch and switch air fresheners. So air fresheners is another big kind of culprit when it comes to cleaning. You know, if you have a room that smells bad or cat litter or something, like the first thing a lot of people turn to is this sprays. You know, just spray the whole room away. But air fresheners have some of the worst chemicals in them, and all those particles are just like in the air going into your system, going into your bloodstream. Almost always contains the term fragrance, which is how it gets the smell. So you never really know like what that fragrance is. A lot of people get headaches and migraines and stuff from products that contain fragrance because it's actually a chemical that they're reacting to, and it's not a natural substance. And so that's what I love about essential oils versus air fresheners, like Glade plugins and all those kind of things. Candles even are harmful. A lot of candles have harmful chemicals in them that you wouldn't even think. So by diffusing, using a diffuser, there's a picture of one right here, but you put the essential oils in with the water and it diffuses into the air, and so you get the same effect of like an air freshener, but with the benefit of it being purely plant-based. Along with essential oils don't just smell good, is that they have a lot of therapeutic benefits. So the essential oils that are in these products are therapeutic grade essential oils, meaning they have therapeutic properties. You know, like the plant itself has a different therapeutic property. And so each oil has different properties that help with anything from immunity to sleep to emotions, because the particles go into your bloodstream and they affect your organs and body systems and hormones. Um, so it really affects you on like a cellular level, which is kind of amazing when you think about it that way, that it's not just something that smells good, is that it really has this cellular effect. So here's this graphic of products that you might have. I have been guilty of probably having every single one of these on the left at one point, and still have a couple, unfortunately, but slowly but surely, or all at once, or however you can afford it, is switch out over to something that is going to be healthy for you and your family in the long run. So this is just talking a little bit about Essential Rewards, which is a kind of a monthly auto ship program that Young Living has. It's optional, but it's a good way to, if you do end up buying their products, to slowly switch out. So, every month get a couple more things that you're going to switch out. And the idea is to transfer your current budget to getting the products here. So it wouldn't be like you need a separate budget on top of your current budget, which I think a lot of people get hesitant or turned off about, is like thinking they don't have the extra money to buy these things. But if you think about it, like, what is your budget for other things at Target or Walmart or wherever? Transfer that money to getting things here. So that's a good way to think about it. In addition to you get 10% back in points that you can, for each purchase, that you can use towards getting other products. And the longer you're with the company, you get up to 25% off every time. So you end up with just tons of points that then you can basically get free products with that. So it is, some people think, an investment. But when you think about not only the quality of the products, but the versatility and the longevity, like how long they'll last you, how many ways you can use it, and the very high quality. So those three things make it like, a no-brainer for me to want to focus more on switching to these. So for those of you, some of you might already be Young Living members, so this might be not applicable, but in case that you have never used them or you've never bought them before, this is the way to get them. So they're not, you can't buy them in like a store. You have to buy it through the Young Living website. And the way to get started with Young Living anywhere is like through a starter kit. So they have different starter kits that you can get, which basically makes you a wholesale member. Like once you get a starter kit, you're a wholesale member. And all that means is that you get 24% off of everything from then on. You don't have to pay a monthly fee. You don't have to buy a certain amount of things monthly unless you want to do the auto ship program, which is optional. You don't have to. You don't have to like sell the products if you don't want to, although that is an option too. So there's really no obligation other than you buy the kit and then you're a wholesale member and you can buy an oil here or there. You can buy things monthly. It's really up to you. You can stop and start the monthly thing whenever you want. There's a lot of support in our Facebook groups and communities for just getting different education about the products. There's a separate Facebook group for the business side for people who are interested in that. A lot of people are not interested in that and just want the products. And some people are interested in like, how do I share this with others and you know, make a living off of it basically. Um, and so there's something for everyone. This kit is the Thieves kit, which has everything you see in the picture. So 2 household cleaners, mouthwash, toothpaste, 2 hand soaps, 3 hand sanitizers, 2 little sprays, some mints. They have a whole bottle of the Thieves essential oil, a bottle of Stress Away, which is the oil that actually got me a believer in essential oils, was Stress Away. And because of the emotional impact that essential oils can have in relieving stress, and Stress Away is a really good one at that. And 2 packets of Ningxia Red, which is a powerful antioxidant drink made of wolfberries or goji berries. So you get all of this. The price is $125. If you do buy it, I give you $25 back. So you get it for $100 basically, which when you, it's I think a $350, $400 value that you're getting for $100. And when you think about how long you can like use all these things for, it's actually a really good economical deal. So again, by diluting it, you really stretch it and it makes it budget friendly. Here's a breakdown of these cleaner cost per ounce versus some other cleaners. And as you can see, Thieves is cheaper than the rest based on cost per ounce. So sometimes people are turned off by the upfront cost or the immediate cost, but it's really kind of like thinking long term, like you're actually saving money. So this is just a graphic of some different supplies that you might want to get over time if you do start making your own DIY cleaning stuff. Different like pump bottles, jars, the different soaps, witch hazel, vinegar, baking soda, things like that, that are good to have on hand. So if you don't have these, you might want to compile a little list of things to get to be ready to make your DIYs. Some little frequently asked questions people have when you get a starter kit. Like I said, you get wholesale membership, 24% off everything, no monthly fees, no obligations to buy monthly if you don't want to. You get access to our educational Facebook groups and, you know, personal one-on-one mentoring, which is what I love about this company versus just maybe buying something at the store, because you get that community that you wouldn't get otherwise. You get people that are just like really excited about wellness and spreading wellness and just really passionate about helping people. And so that you're coming into like a really supportive community too, which you don't have to have any part of if you don't want to. There's no like, you're in some cult now and you gotta like, you know, do some weird thing with them all the time. Everything is totally optional, but it's there if you want it. And I also send a welcome package to everyone who signs up. You get a spray bottle with a cute like label. So if you don't have a spray bottle, you can get started right away making your Thieves spray. a bunch of different educational resources, and all of the hacks and DIY recipes printed out. You get those. Not pictured also are, I send a couple of roller bottles of essential oil blends for you to try out as well. And so you're getting a pretty good deal with that. And I also have this promo going on of the first 2 people to get their kit this month, or by the end of this month, will also get this Luscious Lemon Hand Soap. I actually have it here. It comes with the pump top too, but this is a really delicious smelling lemon hand soap that the Young Living is actually offering this soap free to everyone who gets some of the other starter kits. They have other starter kits available that they're using this as a promo, but not the Thieves kit. So since I was doing this class about the Thieves kit, I wanted to give some people a chance to get this lemon hand soap too. So this will just be available on a first come, first serve basis, pretty much the first 2 people who get their kit. So that comes to how do you get the kit? You go to my Instagram, which is Poems and Doves Essentials. Click the link on my bio, and you'll see a link for the Thieves starter kit. You'll click on that, and it'll take you to my website blog, where you can look more about exactly what's in the starter kit. There's also articles about essential oils and living and different things. But anyway, when you click on buy the Thieves kit, it'll reroute you to the Young Living website. So you're not actually buying from me. Like, I don't have a stash of stuff here, except for the stuff that I buy, but you're essentially buying from Young Living using my referral number. And if you go through my Insta bio website, the referral number should pop up automatically. If it doesn't, just reach out to me and let me know, and I can give it to you. So you'll check out, you can check yes or no to the Essential Rewards auto ship program. I would suggest checking yes, because you can always change it at any time. If you check yes, you'll get a free oil, essential oil. They give a free one every month to people who are on Essential Rewards. You also get 10% back in points. And if you wanted to share this with someone else, you'll get $50 for every person you refer, which is nice. I didn't know that at first. I actually just used these products for like 4 years before I ever tried to share with anyone. And so it's a really good option to, if you know someone like, hey, would you want this? Then you would give them your referral number, and you get money back for doing that. And you can cancel Essential Rewards at any time. So there's no obligations for that, or you're not locked into anything. You just need to spend at least 50 PV, which is essentially $50 worth of products each month. So again, just thinking what out of your budget you can transfer from somewhere else to make it economical and fit with what you can afford. Anyway, so that's the process. If you have any questions about that, you can always reach out on my Instagram, and I can help you through it. So now is the giveaway time. And I think we are definitely running a little over.